4 and 5. It won't include 6, right?
No 6. Yeah, I'm going to get into that, but mostly 3 and 4. Probably not from 5. No, I should say not from 5. So 3 and 4 mostly. All right. So 3, those functions, F, VLOOKUP, round, that's all listed in Georgia view. Go view. So if you see that list of those functions, it's all there. And chapter 4, module 4, creating charts. About 6 different charts: line, pie, column, bar, combo, histogram, those kind of charts. But they are not all asked, but it's going to ask some of them. For example, maybe ask you to create pie chart and column chart, combo chart. So. Any other questions? Okay, so let's go over then. So I'm going to open up the sample test, which is the file. What's the file name? We have directions on the sheets. A Word file, and the data file is on Excel. But in the actual tests, I'm going to combine those questions into Excel. So there's a possibility. So that just like a Microsoft Excel certificate exam, they have same thing that they use, just put all those questions onto Excel rather than going back and forth between, So that could be different set this time a little bit, but hopefully you don't have any issues with that. Okay. So what I'm saying is, for example, you're going to have a sheets number 1. Oh, I need to share. Just a second. Here we go. Let me know if it's not working, the sharing. All right. So, for example, I didn't do it on this worksheet, but for example, I may have questions at the top, like a step 1 to this, step 2 to that, those kind of, so it may appear at the top for those steps you need to do, okay? But this one, we have a separate directions. So this is the direction. So I'm going to follow these directions. So first, worksheets, we're going to have to we're going to enter some function. Then we're going to insert round function so that we can round to the nearest integer of that results. Then we're going to use the VLOOKUP function and so forth, okay? So I'm going to go to sheets number 1. This is the one I started just a few minutes ago. So let me show you what I did. So what you have is student names, and we have 5 items to calculate for total and average and grades in terms of A, B, C, D. Then we're going to rank this grade based on average using rank function in column L. Okay, so first of all, column I, just calculating total. So just using sum function. I think I should separate. So starting with the sum function, right? So that'll give you whatever the sum of those 5 items across this one, right? Then, because we have decimal places, we want to round, but round to the nearest integer, okay? No decimal places. So we're going to use the round function. So we're going to insert right before sum, then we'll go to the end, comma. So this comma is for round function, right? So that round function recognize how many decimal places. So we need the 0 because it's integer number, and that's it. Press enter. Okay. So that's what we have here for column I. In column J, it's the same logic. So we're going to find average. I think he's going to asking round as well, right? Round to the nearest integer. So again, round, and at the end, comma, and 0. So it'll give you no decimal places. Just like that. All right. Next column, which is we're going to determine the grade now based on average. I think there's a typo. Oh, because step C says total, but it should be average. Okay, so we're going to use the average to determine the grade A, B, C, D. Okay. How? We're going to use the scale located in lookup table worksheets right here. They're a bit too small. There you go. So this is our scale. We're going to use this between 50 and 60. I mean below 50 F, between 50 and 60 D, and so forth. And above 90, you get A. Okay. So that's what we're going to use. Okay. For VLOOKUP. You can just bring it over to sheets 1 if you want it, because you don't want to go back and forth, then you can just bring it over, even though it didn't say so, you know. Something like that, right? So that you can just see it right there, right? So here's what I have. VLOOKUP. So we're going to use the J5, which is the average, J5, okay, comma. Then we're going to show the range of the table, which is this. So I highlighted N7 to O11, just like that, comma. Then which column we're going to return for the match? This column, the second column. So we have only 2 columns, average, grade. So we're going to force to return this grade. So we're going to enter number 2, which is second column. Then in this case, at the end, we're going to have to enter either true or false. Why? Because the Excel required to enter one of those. But we have seen many cases like false, right? Pretty much VLOOKUP, we use false because there's only one match, meaning for this particular value, there's only one match. But this is a different case, right? Because to able to determine F, there are many numbers it can be, right? Like a 40 something, 41, 42, 45, they're all F, right? To be able to determine A, there are many multiple values it can be, like 90, 91, 92, 93. So that's why we're going to enter false, okay? Whereas if there's only 1-to-1 match, there's one possibility, we're going to enter false. I think I should say the other way around. So there's only one match, false. There's a multiple match, it's going to be true. So in this case, it's true. So we're going to enter true at the end. And I'm going to just autofill. And there's That's our answer for the first one. I did it intentionally, make an error for the rest of the column. So what do you think is the problem here? So I ran that autofill, but I got some errors. What's the problem here with this formula? Anybody?
Do you need an absolute value somewhere in that formula?
Somewhere, where?
On the first line, the first row and column?
Yeah. Then which
I'm sorry,
variable?
it's so little, I'm trying to look at it.
There you go.
Okay.
Which one?
For, oh, yeah. I would say absolute N, absolute 7.
You mean N7?
Yeah, N7.
What about the other part?
Oh, 11. Yes. In
Okay.
front of both, the dollar sign needs to be in front of both of those.
Just like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you're correct.
Maybe. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you're correct. The reason is, look at this, N7 O11, then right below becomes N8 O12. That's out of order, right? We don't need this 13, 14, 15 because there's no values there. So that's why we need to fix this value as N7 or 11. Then we can autofill. If you don't do this absolute cell reference, Excel will change just like this. So it's going to make an error. Okay, so keep in mind that.
Okay.
So I'm going to autofill all the way down. Then we're going to have the correct answers, like whatever the grade based on the average. Here we go again. Any questions? All right. What about rank? So let's use the rank function based on average. Okay, so we're going to rank the average score for each student. So for example, if the highest average will give you 1. The second highest, 2, all the way down. So that's kind of descending order per se. So you'll see. So we're going to use the rank function. Rank of average, right? Then comma, then you need to show all other cells in the cell, in the column. So, you need to show all cells against this guy. So you can highlight all the way down if there's not too many. Otherwise, you can do like J to J. Okay? And you can just leave it just like that, and it'll give you rank based on the average score. Okay. Then again here, you need to enter absolute cell reference because otherwise it's going to change it to J6, J41, J7, or whatever as you copy. So I'm going to make this absolute cell reference. Okay. Then I'm going to autofill. And it'll give you rank based on the average score. So which one is the highest? $97. Okay. So highest get number 1. What about the other way around? Can we do like the lowest score number 1, which is, they call it ascending. All you have to do is just go to rank function. Then we're going to need another variable at the end. So the comma. So you see that Excel is so small. But what it's saying is 0 for descending, 1 for ascending. You can either enter 0 or 1. So if you want to do it the other way around, like we did it, it should be ascending. So I'm going to enter 1 and see what happens. So the order will be reversed. See that right here. 59 gets number 1 position this time. Okay. And the 95 should get the last rank. Okay. So the point is, again, for rank function, if it's descending, like a typical order, then you don't have to enter anything. But if you want to reverse that, value, then you just use the number 1 at the end by adding a new variable. All right. Any question? All right. Then next worksheet is just creating charts. Okay, so I'm going to go to sheets number 2. Screen is quite small. So it looks like this. Well, this worksheet, it's got some formulas built in, so don't worry about just, this is just for generating numbers. So you don't have to worry about what we have, because it's got like some PMT function calculating monthly payments, so don't worry about it. All we care about is those numbers that will be generated in column A and column D. Afterwards, we're going to use all those numbers to create charts. Okay, so nothing to calculate. So the step asks you to enter some arbitrary number, 6 digits. So I'm going to make up 1, 2, 3, 6-digit number. Okay. Then it's going to increase by, we're going to increment by, I don't know what it was, 200. So let's just make up 200. So adding 200. Okay. Then I'm going to just autofill all the way down. Okay. So that's the idea of doing this, just generating all these numbers. Okay. So now we generate numbers by entering some arbitrary numbers in column A. Then we're going to use before we do the chart, we're going to do only one if in column D. Okay. So what kind of if function we're going to enter? So the direction says just don't worry about this cross out questions on the question. So that's fine. And what we're going to do is step C, asking about inserting the if function to test between 15-year monthly payment and 30-year monthly payment. So we're going to compare those two numbers. So 15 is greater than, the difference, right? The difference is greater than 300. So let's make up first. So equals F. Oh, we don't have that. 30 years. So let's just use, I think there's some question is not correct. Because it says the monthly payment. We have only one monthly payment, right? So let's just change this question, because I think I keep changing the question. That's why it looks weird. Sound weird. So let's go back what it says, what we have. So we're going to have to use those two numbers. But again, this is not same monthly. They are total. One is total, the other is monthly. So we can use different setup. So let's say if monthly payment is greater than What's the number here? Greater than 5%. I just, made up number. 5% of total costs. Okay. If it's satisfying, then we're going to say we're going to return saying out of reach, meaning it's too expensive, right? Otherwise, meaning B9 is less than or equals to 5% of total cost, affordable, just made up. So based on this calculation, it's going to return either out of reach or affordable, okay? I have a syntax error or something. Oh, let's see what I have here. Oh, okay, G. There you go, affordable. They're all affordable. Okay, because I made up, the numbers, the percentage, which is fine. As long as the syntax is correct, you're good. So you're going to expect this kind of question, or just giving you a couple of columns, then compare in terms of greater than, less than, or equals to. Then if it's satisfying, you're going to return what are the words or text. Or it could be calculation, like a calculating, multiplication of two terms. But this is another example you can show what's the result in terms of adding the words, which is too expensive or affordable. Okay, so any question about if? So the question on the word is not correct. So just ignore this question and just work on if in terms of how the syntax will go. So you need to have a condition first within if, comma, then next variable will be what's the value if condition is satisfying, comma, then you're going to show the value if condition is not satisfied. Okay. So that's the syntax. All right, any questions? All right, so let's create some charts. We have median, so I think median is pretty much straightforward for the function. Then next step is creating combo charts using A8, C29. So I'm going to highlight A8. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because it's hard to see. A8 to D29, is that what it says, right? C29, I'm sorry, C29. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Insert, Recommended Charts, All Charts. Again, Combo Chart is at the bottom of the list. And again, it's kind of small on the screen, but we have loan amount, monthly payment, and total cost, 3 items. But we can choose different chart type, okay? So typically we use column chart and line chart for the combo chart. We use other type, it's look kind of weird. For example, if you, I'm not going to do it because it's going to mess up things, right? So the direction says use clustered column, then total cost as a line. Let's say that's what it is. Then also says use secondary axis, meaning see that this preview. Then if you have a secondary axis check mark, then you have the another axis on the right side. That's the secondary vertical axis. So that you see the difference, right? You have only two axes. But if you have a secondary axis turned on, then you have another axis on the right side. Okay, so that's what we have here. Let's just confirm this is correct. Okay, line chart. 30-year secondary axis. Okay. There you go. And click OK. And I think we have a screenshot. Is it not? Oh, we don't have screenshot. I'm going to just provide a screenshot on the tests so that you have idea what you're going to get. All right. So I'm going to go back to combo chart. So typically it's going to ask you save this chart as a separate worksheets, meaning that you're going to have to either cut, paste, or you're going to use move chart, the toolbar. Okay, if you look at toolbar, you have move chart icon so that you can name these worksheets as separate worksheets. So I'm going to name it as a combo chart. And there you go, our combo chart as a separate worksheets. Okay. And if you have it, just put it on the other worksheet and kind of floating around. The size is not, fixed and all that. But anyway, so on the combo chart, so it's going to ask you to work with chart element here. See that this cross thing, once you, that's my icon. I'm trying to go back. There you go. There you go. So chart element is this cross. So that's why you're looking for to format your chart. Everything is under chart element in terms of axis title, chart title, data label. See the data label? So that we can label the each column and all that. But this is too confusing, right? Too many labels. So you can control that by placing only one place or inside. But it'll show all data labels, so which is no good. So if you want to show the data label to only one data, for example, this line, so I'm going to select the line, then I'm going to go to chart element, then click data label so that it'll show on the line only, just like that. Below, call out. Okay. It's still, kind of confusing, but that's one way to do it. Okay. So data label. I'm going to cancel it because it doesn't look too good. Then on the vertical axis, the secondary vertical here, so or the other way, the same thing. You can edit. For example, the maximum right now is 8.6 million. And then you can change or you can modify this number by double click on the vertical axis. Then you can change the maximum right here. See that? The box. You can change the maximum so that the number showing at the top will be changed as you modify in this box. Same thing, major, that's the number between this mark, will be changed as you enter different number, like 70,000 in this example. Okay. So that's how you're going to modify axis. Same thing for the other side or horizontal axis. All right? Then the other thing it may ask is display unit. Again, it's small here, but under axis options, you have display unit. As you see, this number is huge because so many zeros. So you can kind of make it simpler. Oops, let me go back. There you go. So I'm going to make it as display unit million, 100,000, 10,000, thousands. Okay. For example, million. Okay. So that's how you're going to control the display unit on the axis, either left or right or bottom. Okay. Same thing here, horizontal axis. Right now, it's showing as 1 through 21. That's the, what number this is representing? Oh, okay. It just represents the data points, right? Because we don't have like a month, like January, February, and so we can add it, but I think it's just out of scope right now. So something you can do it on horizontal axis or the other side. Okay. So I think that's something we can do with formatting. We did data label, grid line. So as you choose this different grid line, you see the background, this line going cross or vertically. And so that's the grid line. And trend line, you don't have to do it. Okay, so pretty much axis title. So if you click axis title, as you can see, click axis title box. Let's see that this X title box so that you can type it in on the x-axis. It's like you can enter dollar. Okay. What is it? What's going on here? Hard to read. There you go. And here too, you can just type it in whatever content of the x-axis. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, like at the bottom, like they have like every other year. So you got 1, 2, 3. I had a problem trying to make it skip to like every other year.
Sure. Let's do that. You're going to have to double click on this x-axis. Okay. So look up right side. Then you're going to go to axis option. Okay. And it's kind of small, but then you need to go to tick marks. It says tick marks. Okay. Then you see the enable between marks. That's
Yes.
why you're going to change it to different number.
Okay.
Number 2.
Okay, I understand now.
One more thing. That's the only tick mark for the value, but we need to show as a label. So you click labels, then you click specify enable unit so that this label will display on the x-axis. So also here type number 2.
Okay.
Then press enter, then it'll change.
Okay, I see now.
Got it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now tick mark and label, those 2 things. Okay. Okay, that's good question. All right, anything else on the combo chart? All right, so let's move on to other chart. Is it, yeah, I think there's asking few other chart on regional and sheets number 3. Sheet number 3 has some data set. This is winery data set in terms of different type of grapes here, how many wineries. So we can use this as a, we can use to create a pie chart. Didn't ask, but that's one thing. So pie chart is different. So I'm going to ask about pie chart specifically. Okay, so pay attention to pie chart because it's a little different from creating other chart. Okay, other chart, you can select all those columns and it'll give you just right away. Okay, you don't have to worry about how this, chart turns out. But pie chart is different. There's a reason. And for example, let's use this example, okay? So we have wineries that grow their own grapes. Yes, no, unknown. 3 categories and give you all those data. So it's just summarized, right? With only 6 cells. So you're going to highlight those 6 cells, then go to insert, recommended charts. Under recommended charts, you have pie chart. You can use this, right? Or you want to go different pie chart, you go to all chart, click pie, and choose pie or different, but eventually same thing, right? So I'm going to choose this pie, which is good, right? Straightforward. So you can insert the data label with percent if you want it. So go to more option. Oops, I just lost it. Let me go back. Data label, more option. Then I'm going to select percentage only. So it'll show percentage outside it, just like that. And so pretty much straightforward. But some other cases, it doesn't do it by itself. For example, what is it? Oh, sheet 1, okay, the grades, right? So we have a number of students with the grades, column K. So we're going to show a pie chart. So let's select them, column K. So hoping to create a pie chart like A, how many, B, with all those pies. So insert, recommended chart. So recommended chart says nothing, meaning something is not right? So I'm going to go to all chart instead. Look for pie. Still bad, right? So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it may not give you the pie chart right away. So all depending on how your data is set up. So you need to give numbers to category, for example. So you need to give it B, how many, A, how many. Otherwise, this may not work. Sometimes it may work. So it all depending on how your numbers are consistent. Okay. So if the question asks you to create a pie chart to show the distribution of A through F using column K, what you need to do is you need to organize. So I'm going to just put this away. Organize like this. A, B, C, D, F, then you give a number by counting it. If you do it, if you want to do it manually, right? It's not that many, so you can count maybe within 30 seconds, right? Let's say there's 10, 10, 10, 4, 5, 6. I just made up, okay? Then you can create a pie chart, okay? Like that, insert, recommended chart. Pie chart is already there, right? So we can create it just like that. See the difference? So you need to have this number column or number cells to reflect whatever the category. With this just single column or even multiple column without numbers, it's not going to generate pie chart. So any question about that? Okay, so then what about we have like hundreds of cells for column K. Let's say I have hundreds of students. Then I'm not going to be able to count them, right? It's going to take a while to count A, B, C, D. So there's many functions we can use, but there's one quick way of doing is creating pivot chart, pivot table. Actually, pivot table. Probably heard about it already. So pivot table is the way to go. So you go to insert, you click pivot table right here in the first icon from the left. Then it'll give you this setting. Then all you do is just click OK. Then it'll give you new worksheets, generating the summary of those A and B grades. Okay, I don't have it here, but let me just actually do it. I think I didn't do it correct, by the way. Delete. Let's do it here from insert pivot table. Oh, just recognize only one item. That's not good. I want to recognize all. And I'm going to highlight it. See what it is. There you go. So I have added all columns available, including grade. So grade is what we're looking for, right? So I'm going to click grade checkbox, A, B, C, D, whatever those numbers. Then actually I want to move this grade to the values. So I just generated just like that by using pivot chart. Actually, this part has come up in a later chapter, like chapter 6 or 7. So on the actual tests we're going to have, I'm not going to ask you to use pivot chart. So I think it's out of our content. So, but I'm just want to tell you this is the way to do it. Okay. So you may have to just count them, right? If you have the exact same question or same kind of question, you may have to count them. Then you need to show this number with whatever the value. Then you create a pie chart. All right? So let's move on. Is there anything else? Yeah, sheet number 4, using network function and what's the other function? Workday function. Okay, sheets number 4. There, it's kind of small. There you go. So here we have column A, travel start date. So we have like April 1st, 6, 11, and all that. Now I want to show number of days between those two dates. So that's where you're going to use either network days or workday. Okay. So let's see what's that direction says. Okay, network days to find the number of working days between. Okay, so let's do that one first. B3. Okay, so we're going to find how many working days. Because the reason we're using network days is, of course, there's a 5 days between, but we're talking about only working days, right? Excluding holidays, weekends. So that's why we're going to use the network day functions. Okay. Network days. That's the name of the function. Then you're going to select first date, which is the starting date, then end date, which is the second date. That's all. Pretty simple. So that'll give you how many days between two dates, how many working days, right? Many working days. Then now we can just autofill all the way down because it's pretty much same pattern. Okay. Now we're gonna use workday this time, meaning when is the day we're gonna return from. Say you have 5-day break, 10-day breaks, whatever, right? So here we go, workday function, and then say you have this date, then how many days from the whatever day, 10 days. Then you're going to change the format of the cell, which is a short date. Okay. So that's the 10. That's the next working day starting April 1st. After 10-day break, right? So that's the syntax for that. Same thing, you take 5 days break from, for example, April 6th. So when you're going to come back, right? After 5-day break, excluding all those holidays and weekends. All right? So that's the network days and work days. Actually, work days are already entered here, so kind of repeat it. All right, any question? Let me see anything else we have it. So again, no module 5, okay? So no multiple worksheets, like using 3D reference this time. I think that's about it. Any question at all?
I don't have any questions.
All right. Oh, there's a question on the chat. Button folder to enter in the test code. Oh, well, you don't have to worry about. They'll guide you, but it'll. Oh, let me show you. You know, just in case. Who knows? Let me share my screen again. And it's the Go view, right? So we'll go to student view. All right. Go to content. Then you have tests folder. Then it's going to appear right here. It's going to say ProctorU test number 2 under tests. Or you can find from assessment quizzes. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so if you're having any trouble while you are taking it, so no panic. You know, they trying to help you out. I'll try to help out as well if something goes wrong. So just talk to the proctor first, okay? Then you know, he or she will taking care of a problem you may have. If problem cannot be solved, you know, we're gonna help you out eventually. So good luck.